Hi, it's me, Jennifer Smith, True Love Scam Recovery, Narcissistic Abuse Unwound. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to pop onto my website. If you hear some mouse clicking or shuffling, that's me navigating my website. And I found an article here called Sociopaths Target Married People. And yes, they do. So I thought we would just go over this a little bit. The fact is, a sociopath, which is the same thing as a psychopath, and this newer word, narcissist, is most of the time referring also to a sociopath. Once in a while, you will see that same term, narcissist, but what they're describing the experience of or traits of is not one of these pathological people, but simply a dysfunctional person. There is a big mix-up and muddle when you're reading things that call these creatures a narcissist. So please be careful of that. Realize there is a difference, a massive difference, between a dysfunctional, normal human being who has emotional, dysfunctional glitches that are self-focused and this pathological creature that is what they are because they are neurodivergent. Actually, they have abnormal brains. They are the very worst, most heinous mental health category called antisocial psychopath. Sometimes people call it antisocial personality disorder. So, they have an abnormal brain. They don't think like we do. They target anyone and everyone that they can possibly come across, suck into their vortex, and use. They are parasites, predators. They use other people to hold up their life to get whatever they need. Housing, showers, sex, drugs, respectability, facade, entree into other social groups, access to countries, anything and everything, things we can't even imagine. These people want and will take. So their brains are wired differently. So naturally they target married people as well as single people. Married prey is kind of an advantage for them. Someone being married is meaningless to them as far as from, an ethical or moral sort of standpoint. Marriage isn't sacred. Marriage doesn't mean anything. There's nothing sacred at all to them about anything. A married person is fantastic because the married person who feels they themselves are having an affair is likely to never mention this to anyone, not during it and not after it. That's an advantage for a sociopath since their goal is to be able to hide what they are as well as they can for as long as possible overall in a general scope in life so that they can use as many people as possible as deeply as they might like to. I have had the honor of doing sessions with couples who have had this happen in their lives, and they did reach out. And as a couple did sessions with me and individually did sessions with me, and it's an incredible thing to experience. It's unfortunately very rare, and I just want people to know that this is possible and there is no judgment connected to it in any way as far as I'm concerned. What inspired this particular article is this little story. I was taking a Lyft ride or Uber ride or something or other. The driver was male. We started chatting, something I do everywhere I go. And he was telling me about his daughter and the work he used to do, that he's currently in a divorce, and the whole thing has just destroyed his life. He describes that his wife had an affair with their daughter's athletic coach, and that somehow along the way, his wife, or the two of them, I don't know, discovered that this man that was the daughter's athletic coach was also seeing a whole bunch of other women. Cheating is what he called it, cheating with other women aside from his wife. So I asked him a few questions, and he answered with saying his wife had had a nervous breakdown. That was his choice of words. that she had become skin and bones and that she cries all day. Well, does that sound familiar? Sure does to me, and it did at the time as well. So I told him about my website. I gave him my card that is me as Jennifer Smith with the True Love Scam website. I have a business card that is also under my pseudonym, right? And I told him I could help him. I told him I could likely help his wife, and for the sake of their daughter who now hates their mom for doing this affair thing with her coach. I mean, right? And the last thing he said to me after earlier saying, I loved her so much. Well, what he said was, I'll give her your website as the last nice thing I do for her. The hardest thing about that ride was that in that moment, he couldn't absorb what I was saying or assimilate it. And how could he? We don't really know what has happened to us ourselves, and certainly the people around us don't know. It happens. It happens all over the globe. Sociopaths hijack anyone. Their intention in anyone's life is to get whatever they can and use people for whatever it is they want, including things that entertain them simply. And sometimes that entertainment is in the form of really horrific sexual conduct. And I'm so sorry for anyone who has experienced that. In no way does any one of us deserve this. None of us allowed this. We didn't need to be taught a lesson. There's nothing about us that brings a sociopath into our life aside from, from my Nichiren Buddhist perspective, everything that goes on in our life is our karma. It's all there by cause and effect. Perhaps someone who is Christian believes somehow this was God's plan. And then whatever it is we believe about how life works and the world works becomes a part of how we unravel this. And the more of us that recognize what this is, the less this will be able to happen. And I hope that all of you will step into discovering this and understanding it to such a degree that it becomes ordinary, common knowledge in your life and is not an overwhelming, scary thing you're on the watch for every time you go outside your home, but just simply knowledge about life. This is a real thing. It's really here. And the more we understand about it, the more free we are from it or from it happening to us again. And the more we understand it, eventually everyone will. Collective consciousness. So this is Jennifer Smith, True Love Scam Recovery, Narcissistic Abuse Unwound, sending you all good things. And please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Jennifer@truelovescam.com.